welcome back to another video. So if you hadn't seen by the title already, which you have, this video is going to be on something I had never previously really heard of before, or at least not the term, is death positivity. So let's talk about that, what it is, and where I'm going with this video. Because I know some of you are like me and definitely never have heard of this before. So I watched a video from RG Wood Tarot. I believe that was, yes. So in the video, they're discussing death positivity as well. I'll put their video below as well, so you can check that out. And this is kind of where I started really thinking about things with it. So let's just hop into some, I guess they're like tenets or like steps you can take, I guess, to move more towards the death positivity movement. These were created by Caitlin from Ask a Mortician on YouTube, and if you haven't subscribed to her, I would definitely check her out. She's got a lot of interesting stuff on the topics of death and dying. Very interesting. And she's really funny too, which makes it even better. So I'm going to give you my thoughts about these just like RG did, and we'll go through it step by step and just discuss them. For the death positive movement, number 1, believe that by hiding death and dying behind closed doors, we do more harm than good to our society. I kind of agree in some ways, because it's like we're closing the door and like hiding death away. There are different cultures for sure that are more comfortable around death. So I've heard examples of people leaving their dead loved one upon like the dining room table, and like having them hang out for a couple of days, and everyone, like the family's around and just celebrates, well, not celebrates, but celebrating what their life was and who they were. Obviously that's not something we really do, at least not in the US. It's a bit of a dying thing here. We don't really do that, or at least not that you hear every day. So it does feel like it's hidden away. People don't really like to talk about death that much either, because most of us are fearful. And if you do bring up the subject, you get weird glances, or you can't talk about death because most people will be like, or if you're talking about what happens after you die, they'll be like, oh, do you want to die, or do you want me to die? It kind of gets like a very strong negative hold, which death obviously is not necessarily a fun topic, so I get it, but people don't like to talk about it, so it's definitely hidden away a lot. Number 2, I believe that the culture of silence around death should be broken through discussion, gatherings, art, innovation, and scholarship. So this one confused me at first with the scholarship part at the end, but I think what it's meaning is like being able to, for the people that work within the death industry, being able to help people get into it and like be more comfortable around it. So that's what I'm assuming it means. I could be wrong. But yeah, like I was saying before, it's definitely hush-hush. Most of us don't like to bring up the topic of death. I guess what's hard is bringing up the subject and figuring out ways to be able to talk about your family members, about like, for instance, let's say if any of you still have grandparents that are alive, bringing up how they would like things to be after they die, or like how they would like their funeral, or how they would like their body to be taken care of, something like that. Caitlin does have a couple of videos that I've already seen up on her channel that kind of help you to figure out how to break the ice on subjects like that. So yeah, I would definitely, as I said, check out her channel. She's got a lot of good stuff to help you with things like that. Number 3, I believe that talking about and engaging with my inevitable death is not morbid, but displays a natural curiosity about the human condition. This is one of the ones where I'm like, yes, I agree with this rule 110%, like, or not rule, this step, this whatever. Talking about death, expressing interest in death is not weird. It's not creepy to me. To me, it's just like you're interested in the subject, and that's a part of the human condition. We're all gonna die someday. My family was always creeped out in the fact that I like skulls and stuff like that, or like wearing them. I'm like, you have a skeleton in your body. Just a fact. we are all walking skeletons with a bunch of extra tissue. So, I don't know. I agree with that one. Number 4, I believe that the dead body is not dangerous and that everyone should be empowered, should they wish to be involved in care for their own dead. Previously, I was confused about this one, but after watching some of Caitlin's videos, I realized she's kind of talking about how men, in a sense, took on the role of like disposing or taking care of what happens to the bodies. And now in today's age, it seems like a lot of the women want to get back into taking that role. If anyone is interested in getting in lines of work like that, I think everyone, by all means, should be able to get in that line of work to figure out how to help these families take care of their loved ones in the afterlife, or, you know, with their remains. They shouldn't feel ashamed to, you know, want to be able to help out and be involved. I don't think anyone should feel ashamed to be wanting to help out with this, because it is an important thing in life. It happens every day, you know? So, yeah, I get that one. Number 5, I believe that the laws that govern death, dying, and end-of-life care should ensure that a person's wishes are honored regardless of sexual, gender, racial, or religious identity. This is another one that I'm like 110% I agree with, because I don't know about you, but I've gone to a couple of funerals in my life and felt uncomfortable because, I don't know, I didn't know the person very well that I went to the funeral for. We didn't know each other, but we are related. And to me, it was just weird because the way they described him as a person in life seemed like he was sort of an adventurous person, someone who liked to explore, someone who was a little bit crazy. Their death wasn't necessarily natural. Like, they got into an accident, a vehicle accident. It was odd to me that, and I can't say what this person's religious, or how they religiously identified. I don't know what it was. But to me, it seemed very quickly that it was jumped on to like, oh, God has him now, Jesus has him now, and, you know, that kind of stuff. And it felt very weird to me and very forced. I don't know if that's just because I'm pagan personally now, and being in that kind of situation made me uncomfortable. And then there's this big, like, I don't know, I had to walk out because it started getting to a point where the depressing feeling outweighed the peaceful feeling, if that makes sense. And I don't really know how to describe it. It just felt like everyone, to me, I felt like, I hope that they're respecting you in the way that you want it to be respected in your afterlife. You know, I hope that that's being fulfilled, because I don't know personally, right? And it just felt like it's possible that could have been a thing, because to me it didn't seem like they would be a person that would necessarily believe in anything, or if they did, I'm not sure if they were Christian. And my family is one to kind of jump on the train to be like, they're very, very, very Christian, you know? So I just sat there and thought for a while, like, I really hope that no one after I die says, oh, she's with Jesus now. I really hope that's not what they're gonna be saying, because that's not what I believe, you know? And that's weird, because then it's like they're almost being inauthentic to who I was in my life. So I definitely agree that everyone's wishes should be honored. And I hope that with me trying to get more invested and learning more about what happens to your body after death and how to have all your paperwork together, I hope that my wishes are honored too. Number 6, I believe that my death should be handled in a way that does not do great harm to the environment. This I agree with. I am personally looking into the ways that bodies are, I guess, disposed, or however you want to call it. And I originally wanted to be cremated until I realized, well, that actually isn't necessarily the most eco-friendly way for a body to be taken care of. And then I learned about Aquamation, which I'm very interested in, but unfortunately it is not legal in Texas yet, and a lot of other states within the United States. Animals, of course, it's fine for, but from what I understand, it's a lot more eco-friendly than regular cremation is. And if you don't know what Aquamation is, it's basically like using water instead of heat, fire, whatever. And basically they boil your body. They speed up the natural process of like what your body already would go through over several years of being in the ground. And then I guess they turn your bone into like bone dust or whatever. I don't know exactly how they do it. And then they give those remains back to the family after it's turned to a dust. It looks a lot nicer and cleaner to me, for one. I'll show you a little example picture of like a regular cremation compared to Aquamation. Here's an example. I just think that would be a lot nicer and more good for the environment after I leave, because embalming just, from what I understand, is like really bad. They're putting a lot of chemicals in your body after you die. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that idea at all. Another idea I really like is the, what was it? It's like Capus Mundi, or I don't remember how, I'll put that there. So that is like they put you into the fetal position in like this egg thing, and it goes underneath a tree, and so your body basically goes into helping feed this tree, so you become a tree, which is super neat. This, from what I read, is legal in all states, so yes, I like that idea too. I also saw something that you can put your ashes in it too, and it'd be like a little urn that feeds the tree. I don't know how that works, and I don't know if it would work with Aquamation if I wanted to do that and then become the tree. But I suppose I could always get somebody to, like if Aquamation became legal, then I could, you know, have a tree picked out for me, have my family plant the tree, and then spread my ashes, or my water ashes, I don't know, spread that around the tree, and you know, I'd still be with the tree, I guess, is my thinking on it. And then they could keep the other parts of it for like necklaces, or you know, whatever they want. I don't care. Also, I forgot to mention, since it's not legal yet, there is a petition you can sign, especially if you live in Texas, because this one's specifically for Texas, for the Aquamation, because they're stuck at a certain point, and I don't remember what they said it was, but I went ahead and signed it personally. I'll go ahead and leave the link down below, so if you guys are interested in signing, so that potentially I myself would be able to die, would be able to have my body exposed of in a way I would like to have. I would really appreciate that. And even if I change my mind later on, there are still people out there that do want to have that option. Everybody should have the option of choosing more eco-friendly ways to have their body disposed of. So I went ahead and signed that. If you want to sign that too, go ahead. Number 7. I believe that my family and friends should know my end-of-life wishes, and that I should have the paperwork to back up those wishes. Absolutely. Personally, I'm going through the journey right now of trying to figure out how I want my body to be taken care of, which I just told you about, and also how I want my funeral to be, because like I told you, with that other funeral I went to did not feel right to me. That's not how I would want my funeral to go at all, because it was so uncomfortable. I want mine to be more peaceful, I won't mind be outside, I guess, if it's not too hot. I would prefer it to be outside. I don't want it to be cooped up in a church because that feels like, ugh, I don't know. No. No. Honestly, like somewhere with nature, because nature is a big healing like thing. Dude, what if I had dogs that showed up at my funeral, like dogs that could help you, you know, they just like, everyone's crying in the room, the dogs walk around, like give you happy loves and everything. Puppies at the funeral. I want puppies at my funeral. Someone write it down. I need puppies there. Anyways, I am going through the process of that. I've even started, and this might be morbid for some people, I've started a playlist on Spotify for my funeral music, basically, after I pass, like what I would love to be played at my funeral, the songs I would love people to listen to remember me by, like some of my favorite songs. I think that is a really good idea. So I've started working on that, and it's been a bit difficult thinking about these things, sure. But you know, I think it's worth talking about and worth thinking about, because I don't want to leave my family the burden of dealing with grieving and then also all this paperwork and all the funeral things. I just think I'd rather have that taken care of for them so they don't have to stress, you know? So I'm gonna try and get all of that together. And lastly, number 8, I believe that my open, honest advocacy around death can make a difference and can change culture. Absolutely. Number 1, even if it's not changing like everybody's thoughts and points of view, it's worth talking about, and it's definitely changing my own perspective. Just thinking about these things, it's changed my point of view on, like, I already know the things that I want to happen for me, but then like discovering new things that are a little bit more helpful towards the planet, discovering how I want my funeral to be even. It's like not things that I like, it's things like I'd be like, oh, I would never want this for my funeral, but I never took the time to think out, like, how do I actually want my funeral to be, you know? Like, and I don't want to stress people out, because when I die, you know, people are going to be left behind with all of that scariness if I don't do something, if I don't help. I think helping all of that, and then even realizing my own fears with death, has been really helping me too, because I am scared of dying in certain ways. I'm scared of not being able to fulfill the goals I have in this lifetime before I die. And it's important to think about all these things and realize my own fears. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a couple of helpful links down below with a lot of Ask a Mortician stuff, and if I find any other helpful junk, I'm gonna leave it down below for you guys to check out. And this is gonna be the beginning of my death positivity journey, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too morbid for you, but you know what? It's important to talk about things like this, guys. It really is. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love.